that, but the toys. One of the things I remember from Bantha Tracks was a preview of the toys that they had not in production, that they were planning for the holiday special.
Yep.
They had Mala, Itchy, and Lumpy, you know, the Wookiee family, and they had Boba Fett. And honestly, folks, Boba Fett was introduced in the holiday special. So for all of you that think, you know, Boba Fett's the greatest thing, he was so mysterious, he was this and that, it starts with the toy, because the toy, the free mail away for Boba Fett was meant to be, and this was like before the holiday special, when you got Boba Fett in the mail, there was a little thing that said, as seen in the holiday special, you know? So it was meant to be the first one referencing the holiday special. And you didn't know anything about this. All you saw was his appearance in the holiday special until Empire Strikes Back. And you have all this mystery. You're looking at this, and he's got the firing backpack, and he's got these gizmos on his wrist, and you don't know anything about him. So we're looking forward to Empire Strikes Back. That's why it's cemented in so many people's minds. And that's why everyone's got this belief of what he was, and then get so disappointed as they start fleshing him out more and more.
Isn't it really fascinating? I don't know about you, but as I've been going through all these commercials, there's a whole lot of toys that I never saw. Like, there's a whole lot of toys. I mean, I've seen them as an adult. Yeah. Not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things where when they were happening, I don't remember it being there. But I think it's also, too, because some of their toys were just things that Kenner could make.
Yeah.
Because they had molds and stuff from other things. And it was like, well, it's not real Star Wars-y. And they're not really fun play sets. Like you were saying earlier, I'd rather have an X-Wing. I'd rather have a TIE fighter. I didn't really want this it wasn't the Death Star. It wasn't the actual Death Star. It was like these little playset things that were like, ew, all right. A lot of
the Cantina playset was literally just this vacuum form thing with a cardboard back. I've got a video that's going to be coming out in a day or two, talking about my version of the Cantina that I'm putting together.
That's awesome.
But in fact, as you've been sharing those commercials, Netter was watching a bunch of them, and she's like, "Hey, did you have this remote control R2-D2?" And I'm like, "Nope, I didn't. I had a buddy who did, but I never had that." And I knew what she was thinking. She's thinking, "Do you want one?" No. That was not one of the things I was after. I was laser focused on those 3 3/4 inch things, and that's kind of what I stuck to. But
I always told somebody the story. I said, you know, Star Wars was a little bit different for me, because I was really pretty content, I think, with most of the things like you were saying. I had my set of figures. I wanted more stormtroopers so I could emulate having more stormtroopers, things like that. But I really didn't care about. I had a couple of play sets, but I wasn't like addicted to having every single thing that was made. And I really tell the story of like when Transformers came, and the metal ones were extremely expensive.
Yeah,
it was usually you with your friends. Like I would have one, my brother might have one. We had friends that might have one. It's like nobody had, like, you know, it's just like it was financially not a plausible thing. But you could get everybody together. You could have all these cool elements together and things like that. So even with Star Wars, that was to a certain extent with some of those play sets, but we all kind of we just love the experience of it all and things like that. Gosh, we were so grateful for what we got. I don't met a lot of people who were like, oh man, they were greedy little brats back then. I don't really remember my friends ever being like that.
There was, and Netter and I have talked about this a bunch too, especially at the holidays. One of the great memories at the holidays is those Sears and Montgomery Ward's, those catalogs, and you go through and see what the toys were that were coming out that they were going to have, and you'd mark the things that you wanted, and if you got them or not, it wasn't even that important. It was the excitement and the maybe and the looking and it was like kitty window shopping, you know, that kind of a thing. Because there was also the reality that you knew back in the 70s, actually, we're kind of living through an economy that was very much like the 70s at the time, where gas prices were through the roof and it was even being rationed and money was incredibly tight. So the price of anything that was plastic went through the roof. Think about that. Oil prices are high, therefore plastic prices are high. They're both petroleum products. So so that's why they went from 12-inch G.I. Joe to the 6-inch Mego figures to the 3 3/4-inch Star Wars figures to save on plastic. So I knew that money was tight and that I couldn't expect all the things I wanted. So I really was happy with what I got. And I didn't ask for the 12-inch action figures. And I didn't ask for the remote control thing that didn't go with the mini figures and the whatnot. I focused on the little figures. There
Look
you
at
go.
that. Look at
Oh,
that. How's that for an OG? 1978. There's our Christmas we were talking about. There's that Death Star
Death
on the
Star
left.
that I was talking about. Yeah.
And I have to be honest, I think with you, my first one was a land speeder, and I think my second one was an X-Wing, and then I
Yep.
got a TIE fighter. Yeah.
I never had the TIE fighter. My buddy David did. So I'd be the Rebel pilot, he'd be the Imperial pilot.
On the left, is that a case? Is that that Darth Vader case?
I think that's the Darth Vader case. Yeah.
I had the Darth Vader case. I didn't have the 3PO case. I had one case.
I had the Vader, I had the C3PO, and then later they put out one in the shape of the Millennium Falcon. Upper right corner there. You have that is the Sears. So I know this is the Sears catalog.
Yes,
that was the Sears exclusive Creature Cafe or whatever it was called. Yep. That was the only way that you could get you were able to get the I don't remember, it's 3 or 4 Cantina Denizens before they were released on cards, and one of them was Snaggletooth.
He's right there in the middle.
Yeah, right, it was taller and he was blue instead of red. Oh, that is one of those.
Not all websites play nice for this, folks. Sorry about that.
But
a little bit bigger. He's right here.
Yeah.
He is very, very expensive. If you try to find him loose or wherever you find him, you're gonna. He's probably been counterfeited a million times as well.
And part of the reason is because, again, this was before the internet. If you saw this in the Sears catalog, you did not know. I didn't know as a kid that was an exclusive to Sears.
No,
I had no concept. So for Christmas, I had everybody looking for the blue Snaggletooth, not knowing first that it only came with that play set. Otherwise, I would have been asking for that play set. And number 2, that you could only get it at Sears. So they were going to Toys R Us, asking around. Nobody knew what anyone was talking about. So that's how most people missed it.
Play set's right there. And then here's your zoom in right here, showing him right here next to Greedo. So, all right, let's fast forward a year. And we get a little bit of a close up on that ad right here.
There you go.
And then we got a Dewback.
There's that Dewback I was talking about. Yeah.
And then they added Boba. So you've got the Boba in this ad.
Yeah.
There's power droids and Jawas. Those are cloth. Yep. Those are cloth Jawas.
Yep. And down below, those were the little die-cast versions. Yep. I actually had those. Those were those things that people got you just because they thought you'd want it.
Yeah, and there's the other Snaggletooth. We all had the regular Snaggletooth.
Right.
Yep. So then we can scroll down here. This is piratesandprincesses.net.
Yeah.
It's a Sears ads. There's
Millennium Falcon. Again, didn't have it as a kid. My buddy David did.
I didn't get a Falcon until I was 10. I visited my maternal grandmother for the first time. I never met her before. She'd given me a birthday card for every year I would have been alive. So, first birthday card, $1, second birthday, $2, so on. And I bought a Linen Falcon.
I didn't get a Falcon until I was 35. Yeah, I got the bigger one that they put out with the 90s release, and then Netter got me the Toys R Us Millennium Falcon Extraordinaire that hung down from the ceiling. It's about 6 feet long. I'm customizing that to put in the cockpit and the cargo bay and so forth.
So there's the rectangle storage case right in
Mm-hmm.
here in the center, and there's blue Snaggletooth, two
Yep.
over from red Snaggletooth.
Yep.
Here's a early Boba Fett. That's the tall
That's the
figure
12-inch figure. Yeah.
Yeah. next to Zargon. It's like
Yeah.
Shogun Warriors are like, hey, we're here too. Yeah.
And ironically, again, the Shogun Warrior that had the firing bits that they didn't have after that line of figures because they were so dangerous. Because
yeah, here's the pricing table over here on the left. You can see X-Wing Fighter with 1144.
man, you can't even get action figures for that price now.
Yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff there. J.C. Penney, yes, they had two. That was 1980. So now we're on the Empire line.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the Star Destroyer.
Oh, that was that was probably the worst.
It's a terrible design.
Yeah.
It's such
I
a
never
waste
even
of
asked
space
for it
because of this Vader thing. It's like what? I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's their Falcon. There's their other. So now I did get a Tauntaun very early. I love the Tauntaun. I had the Tauntaun forever.
I had the Tauntaun too. I loved it.
Yeah, I love these two. There's a troop transport and droid factory. Here's a Sandcrawler.
Yeah, I did not have the troop transport. I didn't get that until the Mandalorian came out and they re-released it. Didn't have the droid factory and really wanted it because that was the only way you could get an R2D2 with the middle leg.
Let's some more of these ads though, because this is kind of fun. This was totally impromptu, by the way. There's a different speeder. Definitely had a different look and feel with it, with the stripes and stuff. They changed all that.
Mm-hmm.
Snow speeder. Love my snow speeder. I still have my cloud car.
I literally have 3 snow speeders within spitting distance from me.
Yeah, I still have my cloud car, but it will cost me as much to get the new cockpit covers.
Yeah,
it would be to just get a new cloud car. Like I don't have the covers. Yeah, they're like I think people they were running around $10 to $12 a piece.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can buy a cloud car for like $30. Yeah. I was like, well, I just get another cloud car.
Well, here's the question: how important is it to you that they be original? Because like for my snow speeders, I get reproduction parts. They're just 3D printed, and I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay. No, I don't even really. I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Like it's one of those things where I think it having all of its warts is just it is what, like we have the Batmobile. So I have like the first Batmobile from Batman Animated Series and Batman 89 stuff, and my kids play with it and we still have it. So it's like, all right, it is what it is. So all the different action figure lines. There's my Vader case wide open. Well, I loved IG-88. I love my figures, man. This is just the best nostalgia for me. So Sears 81. Now, see that there is a good ad. See how they show you what it really look like? That is probably the best representation of the experience, because you see it folded out. You can see the color, the display. And man, I tell you, I don't know about anybody else. I didn't have a friend that had the ad. And every time I see one, it stops me in my tracks.
I did have it. And that was the one. That was the one that this was like, okay, so obviously the big one from the first movie was the Death Star. The big one from Empire was that AT-AT, and I asked for it and I wanted it, and I didn't get it for Christmas. I got it a month later for my birthday, and it was that my mom doing the whole, you weren't good enough to get the AT-AT. Santa didn't bring it for you. And then for my birthday, I ended up getting it from my mom, my uncle, and my grandmother. All went in together on it because it was that expensive.
Wow, that's fun. Yeah. That's fun. I wonder if any of you, and you guys leave your comments, because this is running as a premiere. So if you guys have one, I'd love to know. You guys have a Sears catalog, a Penny's catalog with these ads in it. We'd love to see you show that off. So here's 82. So some fun stuff there, folks. Some fun stuff here. So this goes all the way through to Jedi. There's a whole room set up by then. I mean, they really had all the stuff working.
I had not all of this stuff, but I had some of it. My buddy David had some of this stuff.
Yeah. I remember more like the sheets and the curtains and stuff. I don't remember I didn't have the toy box.
No, I didn't have the toy box either.
And I didn't really have all the stuff like that. We didn't have that kind of. Yeah, we had the sheets and stuff. We didn't have that kind of stuff. There's Jabba.
The repurposing of the droid factory there,
Yep.
from the first movie, they did it for Jabba's palace.
Here's our secondary version of Hoth and transport stuff. Here's your catalog showcasing everything.
Man,
84 still running strong with figures, dropping new figures. You got your Endor line, your Ewok line.
Yeah.
Now we get the Imperial shuttle and the TIE Interceptor.
That's the one that got away from me, that Imperial shuttle. That's the one I, to this day, still want.
Yeah, Imperial shuttle. Look at that. Yeah. Ewok Play Center. It's like, I didn't care for that, but man, I wanted that Y-Wing.
You know what? If you had wanted the Ewok Village, you were better off waiting until it was re-released as a playset for the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves figures, because then it came with foliage on top.
Wow. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. So yeah, this was so good. Let's see here. What else is there?
The Rancor.
Yeah.
Max Rebo Band.
Have you ever been in one of the Star Wars Celebration or stuff where they have like the life-size Rancor? You can take a picture in it.
Wow. I've never seen that. That's awesome.
It's the best. It's probably one of the main. I know people love to go to Star Wars Celebration. To me, for all the wrong reasons. Go to Star Wars Celebration and it'll just soak up the cosplay. I mean, you want to talk about cosplay. Then 2, get yourself wherever the 501st you're going to do a march and you see one of the Stormtrooper marches. Oh, it gives me goosebumps. And then go and take pictures next to all these custom vehicles, the Rancor setup, the Jabba the Hutt setup. I mean, just it's insanely cool. And it's so expensive, but yeah, those are what I enjoyed the most. I was really at this point, I was getting a little older too, so it's a lot more about trying to convince them to give me some figures and stuff. There's some of the Jedi sheets and stuff. Yeah, there's this.
Now I'll tell you what, Ewok plushies, that was it. My brother actually had the Wicket figure. Those are brilliant.
Yeah, they were into all this. There's some of the blasters and stuff that you could get. There's more like for the Tykes.
Yep.
In hindsight, that R2 toy box is freaking cool.
It is kind of neat, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, now we're running into 85. So people are like, all right, well, they still have stuff. Now it's going on sale a little bit. Still got some stuff. It's like,
and this is where they were going to start pivoting then to the droids and the Ewoks, and it didn't last long after that. They even used them as the excuse to put out like toys that didn't get out in the last line, like the A-Wing fighter and so forth.
From Kenner, Star Wars Holiday Special Collection comes Mala, Itchy, Lumpy, and all 20 action figures, including the new Bloodlow, Zutmore, and more, each sold separately. And now, Akmina, Star Wars bartender, with her drink dispensing pitcher. Akmina is not yet available in stores, but you can get her free with 4 proofs of purchase from any Star Wars Holiday Special action figures. Details on specially marked packs at participating stores. Offer expires May 31st. Star Wars Holiday Special action figures, sold separately, from Kenner.